Hey folks, Bill here from Hangar Ads. Out in the middle of an airport. Don't have an airplane, don't have a hangar. What's going on? Well, this is one episode you won't want to miss because I think you might learn something. Okay, so this is the deal. It's come time that I need to get rid of the 150. I hate to see it go. We've had it for about 10 years, but I've got a 172, 182 projects working on. We've got the Cub project. We've got some other antique aircraft. Got some Super Cub stuff in the barn. All subjects of future episodes coming up. Should be fun. 2021 should be a great year for a lot of cool projects coming up. But in the meantime, it kills me to get rid of it. We've owned it for about 10 years, so we're gonna send the 150 off to a new owner. Should be a great thing. Part of that is the new owner's getting a pre-buy inspection, and that's very important. So you're probably wondering, what is a pre-buy? Well, a pre-buy is not an annual inspection. If anyone thinks it's an annual inspection, it is not. That's just like, let's just say an FA medical is like a good medical examination. No. It's a conditional inspection. That's all an FA medical is, and that's what a pre-buy is. It's a conditional inspection. It's not maintenance, heavy maintenance, repairs, and that kind of stuff. It's someone checking to see what kind of aircraft you have. And that's what you want to do. You want to spend the money on up front. You may spend a couple of, hundreds or thousands of dollars on pre-buys, depending on the complexity of your aircraft, but in the long run, it'll probably end up could possibly save you 5, 10, or tens of thousands, fives of thousands, whatever multiples thereof, lots of money later down the stream. So that's what is going to be happening during a pre-buy. A pre-buy, as I said, is not an annual inspection. It's just a conditional inspection. The mechanic is going to go and look at logbooks, make sure the logbooks match the aircraft, check on times, check airworthiness, compliance, things of that nature. Then they will also do a physical examination. Now, they're not going to go deep dive and explode the whole aircraft. They're going to go poke around in different areas. If you go and look in an inspection plate in the left wing, in one plate, and the rest of the wing probably looks about the same. So they're going to be looking for things that might maybe trip their curiosity a little bit. So that's one thing that they're going to be looking at doing, is that kind of stuff. So they're going to poke around and just do spot checks on different things. Check condition of paint, looking for leaks, things of that nature. Check to make sure the logbooks reflect what the aircraft condition is. That's a real problem. One of the things I've always said, and others have kind of quoted me on it, is the logbooks typically reflect the logbooks, and on a good day, we hope that they reflect the aircraft. And that's unfortunately the way it is on a lot of times. Not through any malicious behavior, but just sometimes folks forget to write things down, or don't write a complete story down, or sometimes write an incorrect story down in that their math may be bad. So time since major overhauls, time since top overhauls, time since item replacements, things like that nature may go unchecked, or possibly underestimated or overestimated. So that's kind of another thing. As a mechanic doing a pre-buy, you're going to be looking at those kinds of things. And then as a pre-buy mechanic, one of the things I try to do is, if you're hiring me to do a pre-buy, I try to get your money back, in that I'm going to look for stuff, and I hope, now you can bring me a perfect airplane and it won't work out this way, but I hope that I can at least give you the ability to negotiate a better price, and hopefully it's a price good enough for what you paid me to do the job. That's kind of my personal goal, but it's not necessarily the way it has to be. Most importantly, my job doing a pre-buy is I'm a hired gun for you while you're trying to buy an aircraft, to help you negotiate to a fair price. So that's the most important thing, is that the aircraft is as represented and that kind of stuff. So it's very important to do those kinds of things. And this is not just certified aircraft. This is a certified aircraft or experimental aircraft. So it's all the same. Most importantly is you want somebody to look at that aircraft and see what you got. The other deal on a pre-buy, if you're buying an aircraft, is as a prospective owner, future owner, be prepared to walk away. Don't fall absolutely hopelessly in love with something. That's why you're doing a pre-buy. You're not having a pre-buy accomplished to corroborate that you made the greatest choice going. You want a pre-buy to come by that mechanic, that maintenance shop to come by with an objective opinion as to the condition of the aircraft. I'm going to switch arms here. My arm's getting tired. So real important that you do something like that, is to have a pre-buy, and again, somebody objective to get the emotion out of it. Real important. We had an aircraft here a while back. It had a Lycoming engine on it. We looked at the data plate. The data plate was for a, let's just say, it was an 0540 ABC model is what the data plate indicated. When we checked the serial number on the data plate, it indicated, checking with Lycoming, the serial number said it was 0540 DEF. It's like, well, that's interesting. The model and serial number don't match on the data plate. When we checked the crankcase serial number, that serial number was even also unique in that it was 0540 GHI. It was so 3 different models on an engine. That was the big red flag that told us, hey, we need to walk in this aircraft. So little things like that. Again, we're doing as a maintainer, as a mechanic, is we're going in there like Sherlock Holmes and looking for clues to see if the logbooks are talking to us, see if the paperwork is correct with the aircraft. We've had some sketchy stuff on different aircraft, and again, we're not afraid to question everything on a pre-buy. That's what you're paying us for. Now, you as a buyer of a pre-buy, you want to hopefully get an experienced shop, and the more experienced the eye that is looking on your aircraft is, the better value of the pre-buy is. So you want to get someone who kind of knows the aircraft, hopefully, and or knows aircraft, and or that model aircraft, make aircraft. Sometimes there's specialists out there. It might be worth going to a specialist, especially with higher dollar aircraft. You know, if you're looking at a King Air or a Falcon or a aircraft of that nature, you definitely want to use specialized people. But even when you look at something like a Cirrus, those are some pretty expensive investments. So it's really important to get the right shops to do your pre-buy and get good value for it, so that you do get a good story and you don't have someone who's learning on your aircraft. And that's actually quite important. You think about it. You know, if you have someone that's maintaining King Airs or Learjets or Gulfstreams, aircraft of that nature, they're probably not going to be the best kind of folks to do a pre-buy on a Piper Cub. So mix and match. Get the right folks to look at your aircraft that you're looking at purchasing. Make sure you get the best eyes on it. There's a lot of different places to get folks recommended. There's of course social media. You can hopefully there's a local pilots group. You can get some information from there. If you currently have an aircraft, utilize your mechanic. If you don't have an aircraft and you know someone that does have an aircraft, you might talk to their mechanic for some guidance. Or there are also type clubs that recommend different folks in the area. So that is also very helpful to you. Always try to get the best people, the right people to look at the aircraft for you. And most importantly, don't fall in love with the aircraft before you get ready to buy it. Just kind of hang loose, take your time, breathe, and get best value for what you're doing. As a buyer of an aircraft, someone who's engaging a shop for a pre-buy, it's incumbent upon the shop that you're working with to hopefully give you a written report. That's what I try to do, is a written report or some sort of report, even if it's not a written report, but sit down with you and go through the aircraft, some of the things that they found, different issues that they might have had, and go through it with you to help you strike a better deal, hopefully, or make sure that you do in fact have a good aircraft, or the condition of the aircraft if it is questionable. So that's really very important for the purchaser of the aircraft or the pre-buy, is to have a good relationship with the folks that you're going to be doing it with, and make sure you are getting your value for the pre-buy inspection. You don't want to just have a shop say, yeah, it looks good to me, and that's it. Now you want to have it a little bit more in depth there. Again, that way you can take that information to the seller of the aircraft and hopefully strike a better deal or negotiate a fair price for whatever you folks plan on doing. As a seller, I'm typically doing pre-buys for customers, but as a seller, this is kind of a weird one for me, because as a seller, I just get out of the way. I am not paying for the pre-buy. I am not engaging in the pre-buy. As a seller, typically what I do is I encourage sellers to just get out of the way, drop the aircraft off, and don't stick your nose in their business. Just keep it pure and all that. If it comes up warts, it's warts. If it comes up gold, it's gold. But you should know that going in as a seller. If you're trying to flip a piece of crap, you're gonna get crap on your report. So don't be surprised on that. So real important. But as a seller, I try to encourage folks to just back off, kick back, and get out of the area. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm sitting here looking at, I've got cows. I'm looking at cows. There's no one flying except me because I'm a moron. It's blowing 15 gusts and 20. So I'm just kind of hanging out here in the wind and waiting for the phone call that the aircraft's back together. So as a seller, get out of the way and all that. Again, as a buyer, you want to let your mechanic do their job. Don't be hanging over their nose, over their shoulder. Let them do their job and let them report back to you objectively so that you get a good report. You get a fair report and you get the emotion out of it. So real important. As a seller, the only thing I ask the mechanic or the shop, and when I come up and have an aircraft looked at, like as mine today, is there something unairworthy and all that. And even when I do pre-buys, if I find something that's not according to Hoyle or something that is an airworthiness concern, I will notify the seller of that, pull them to the side and say, listen, you didn't pay for me, I'm a hired gun for the other guy, but you have an issue with this aircraft. And I've done that, and sometimes it's sad news for them and they don't want to hear it, but then again, I don't want anybody to get hurt. So it's real important as a seller that if there's any questions, you might ask the mechanic who's doing the pre-buy, did you see anything that is unairworthy or is a safety issue? So just cover yourself, make sure nobody gets hurt. Real important. So that's about all there is to a pre-buy. Is nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be timid about. Just engage with a pretty good shop, a known shop. Talk to your buds, your friends, family, other pilots, guys, girls, whoever it takes. But talk to some folks, get the best value you can for your pre-buy, and go buy an airplane, get it going. So it should be an effortless experience. Don't fall in love with the first airplane you meet. Always make a good business decision at the end of the day. So that's it for us right now. Now you're probably wondering, well, gee, Bill, you don't have anything to fly. You got nothing else going on. We have. We're going to start transitioning to that. We've got another barn find project coming up. We've got a 182. It's in a barn. Actually, it's my barn. It's where it is. But we're going to start working on it. We've got some engine projects that are ongoing. You're going to see those, as always. We also have the Foe Fighter, our 172, our 1962 172 project that we're going to be working on. So you're going to see some of that stuff. We've got the little Grummins. Those are going on, still going on. As soon as we get some big things for you on that, we're going to have some more video coming out on that. So this year is going to be pretty darn busy, and we sure do hope to see you up at Oshkosh. We're going to plan on going to Oshkosh, so it should be a good time there as a minimum. Probably won't make Sun and Fun this year, but definitely Oshkosh. So just got word that the pre-buy is done, so we're heading back. Wish me luck. That's it for this time on Hangar Rat.